Imagine how dangerous this is going to be. You've now got the license to say that individual rights or democracy or human rights, these are foreign Western discourses. And these must be opposed. They are not indigenous, they are impositions on us. What an extraordinary gift to dictators and authoritarians from other parts of the world. Remember, as I said, we have decolonization, we have decoloniality, we have post-colonialism. We have very many ways of approaching this question of decolonization. And so I just want to make clear that we have to be careful about saying, are some of these problems that we're seeing in politics today, are they the direct result of decoloniality theory? In other words, are they actually people who, let's say, in politics or the law or journalism, are using ideas from decoloniality theory per se? Are they speaking about border thinking, colonial matrix of power? Do they believe
Mhm.
in that whole specific discourse? Or is it the case that there are some broad common ideas that one finds in decoloniality theory that have metastasized and that are now circulating throughout politics and the law and so on, which are structurally isomorphic with decoloniality? So what I mean is, even if it's not decoloniality theory per se, it nevertheless shares a certain kind of intellectual genetic heritage with it, or it's basically the same kind of idea. So here I want to talk about some ideas that I think decoloniality theory has licensed that are becoming more prominent, regressive ideas. So the first is that I think decoloniality theory offers a conspiratorial view of the West. And I think that conspiracy about the West, I think we are starting to see more and more of that in certain spaces, whether it be politics, whether it be scholarship, whether it be journalism. We might increasingly start to see this reading of the world as this extraordinary civilizational antagonism between the West and the rest of the world. The West is this evil force. We need to delink from it. We need to reject Western values. So where you see in politics this kind of idea of rejecting Western values, then I think you are seeing something that is common with decoloniality. Let me give you an example. In the writings of J. Sai Deepak, who I mentioned earlier, who's written a book called India That is Bharat, and in which he employed Mignolo's ideas of decoloniality theory to argue against the Constitution, he rejects Western values as being foreign and out of place and alien and false universalism. He rejects various Islamic ideas as well, because he says that Islam is an invading force that came into India as well. So they're also not part of the authentic indigenous Indian people. So he's actually giving a kind of colonial matrix of power that's going even further back in time. And then he's rejecting the West. He's saying ideas that come from the West must be opposed because they come from the West. So you can see that conspiratorial reading of the West and that rejection of Western values is happening there and happening elsewhere as well. Deepak's a good one to stay with because he's also anti-constitutions. He has an anti-constitutionalist approach because he believes that the constitution, whether it be in India or like we're seeing more of this in South African jurisprudence as well, which is legal scholars saying that the constitution is a Western instrument of domination that brings alien Western values and consecrates them here in places where they should not be. So now you've got people who are arguing against the Constitution. And remember, in many cases, because the Constitution is going to be something which is protecting rights and protecting individual rights especially, there's going to be this wholesale rejection of individual rights that comes along with that. Imagine how dangerous this is going to be. You've now got the license to say that individual rights or democracy or human rights, these are foreign Western discourses. And these must be opposed. They are not indigenous, they are impositions on us. What an extraordinary gift to dictators and authoritarians from other parts of the world, because now when they are oppressing people and denying them rights and jailing them without trial or whatever the case might be, I mean, to give a kind of extreme example, they're quite happy to help themselves to the idea that individual rights, no, that's a Western idea. That's got nothing to do with where we come from. We've got our own epistemology, our own system. We de-link from and reject Western rights. So if you're going to make a conflation between coloniality and modernity, between Eurocentric and European, and if you're going to have this conspiratorial vision of the West as so evil and all the rest of it, it quickly allows you to make that kind of slide into the rejection of individual rights, into the support for corruption. There's just a lot of things that you can license by using that kind of idea system.